And almost going into that, is there any like side sports that you play to kind of help the hand-eye mental coordination?
Not really. I ran track before I played football, so it was more so just like me developing my speed.
Dylan, you visited, you've played in a variety of venues already in your career. You go to South Carolina for the first time, Williams-Brice Stadium. There's a little bit of an aura because of different things that happen there. Have you heard anything about that? How much do you look forward to that kind of visit?
Honestly, I look forward to every game of the season, but this will be my first time playing at South Carolina. I watched them, play a lot, in my years being in college, and I don't know. I'm really just ready for the challenge. I'm ready for the challenge. I know they have great players over there. I know a couple of the guys, not too many guys, but I know it's gonna be a great challenge for us.
Now that you've had several months to think about it and everything, the preparation for the Clemson game, the national championship game, did you think it was kind of a missed opportunity, maybe some distractions? Coach Sabol was talking about that. Looking back on it, what was that week like? Do you wish you could have it back in some ways?
I do wish I could have it back. I really wish I could have like the whole month of like December back, in a sense, to where like we could look at Oklahoma and Clemson at the same time and try and like prepare ourselves for it. Obviously, during the game, we weren't prepared for it, and Clemson got the best of us that day. And kudos to them. But from that point on, we learned from our mistakes, and we just try to get better.
When Coach Saban talks about distractions, like what does that mean? Like what's he? Can you give me an example of like how a team isn't quite, what I mean, like 100% focused on something?
Yeah, worrying about external factors such as like things like this, like letting media get to your head, or worrying about what people are saying about you, draft, stuff like that. If you're not worried about the team, if you're not worried about bettering yourself, that's easy to take you off your head.
I'm sure it wasn't fun at the time, but did you learn from that? I mean, is it something that kind of going forward?
Oh yeah, of course, I definitely learned from it, but it helped me evolve much more as a leader, because now I know what I don't want to, like how I don't want the defense to be led, and develop a way for me to like go into the year and just be like, okay, this is what we're going to do here.
Do you feel like your program's kind of connected to Clemson's just because both teams have been so awesome? I mean, do you like after Alabama plays, do you check and see what Clemson did? Just because, I mean, what do you think of their program, and what do you think about the connection between the two?
Honestly, I really do think that Clemson is a great program, but there'll never be another Alabama. I feel like we're in our own realm, but like I said, Clemson has great coaches, great players, and all of that. But like I said, we just have to worry about ourselves.
Dylan, going back to your recruitment, you were offered by Alabama and LSU back when you were in 12. Really at the height of that rivalry, what was that like?
It was crazy because like when I was growing up, I used to watch the LSU Alabama game all the time. I used to go to the games with my cousins and friends, and watching it was like the atmosphere was crazy. So for me to be able to play last year and the year before, it was a dream come true. It was just like being able to be in that environment too. It was just like it was kind of like an out of body experience, because I don't know. It was just like I watched this game for so many years and then being able to play it, it was crazy.
When you picked Alabama over LSU, what was the tiebreaker?
The tiebreaker was just coaching staff stability. I knew Bama had more stability than LSU. I knew I could trust the coaching staff. I knew I'd be playing with and against great players every day in practice. And I don't know, it was just like I really wanted to play with the best of the best. And I knew it would help me evolve as a great player.
What's like, now that you've been in the program for a few years, and Alabama's obviously been good for all of them, what's the hardest thing about maintaining success? The weekend, like you said, like ever letting your guard down. What's difficult about that?
It's really the mental part to it. A lot of guys don't really focus on that. They try and focus more on the physical part, stay in the weight room or running, trying to stay in shape. And that's all good and dandy, but it's like you really have to focus on the mind part. When you're confident in yourself and strong-minded, and you confident in the defense and know the plays, then that makes things a lot more easier.
There's been some talk about mental health here, like guys just getting wrapped up in social media and stuff like that. And I'm sure that happens. Like, how difficult is that? Do you see guys, do you have to pull guys back from, what I mean, just checking their phones and getting wrapped up in that? I mean, like on a day-to-day basis, what's that look like?
It does. Like, it's really bad in a sense because a lot of guys get a lot of anxiety from that too. And a lot of guys don't know how to handle, criticism from others, even self-criticism, so I feel like if you can overcome that, it can help you become better overall as a person and player. But I feel like that's the main issue when it comes to college football athletes.
Dylan, can you think of a moment, whether at Alabama or in your earlier days when you were learning that kind of signal caller, Mike linebacker role, where you're just kind of overwhelmed with the playbook you had to learn or all the responsibilities that come with that?
Honestly, I can tell you plenty of times, like just how stressed out and agitated I was just trying to learn the playbook. And for me to be like that, it showed how bad I wanted it. You know what I'm saying? To see like the freshmen nowadays stressing over it and telling me how they're crying in their dorms and how they can't get the plays, I'm just like, man, don't worry about it. Like, you're gonna get it sooner or later. This is what you wanted it so bad, you know, you'll get it. And I'm telling them, you know, like I'm you know, proof of testimony. So,
Did you ever cry?
I ain't gonna lie, I have, but it was out of pure frustration.
With you guys having to make checks on the field if the offense goes in motion or something like that, how much are you guys who are out there kind of on your own with that, and how much help comes in from the sideline?
Honestly, it's really like from sideline to sideline, just with like from the cornerbacks to the safety, the linebackers to the opposite side of the field. But this year, you're going to see a lot of guys going crazy. It's like different, you know, motions and shifts and all that. Like, communication is key. And that's really what I want to focus on this year, and I want guys to be able to see me doing it, and then I want them to be able to like take that and do it as well.
Dylan, as far as his progression as a player and even off the field as a person, what have you seen lately from Ayabi and
Dude he's transitioning to something really, really dangerous. Dude is like, he's very athletic, he's fast, he's quick off the edge. He reminds me a lot of Tim Williams. I don't know if you remember him, but he's from Baton Rouge. He was on 56 a couple years ago. But he reminds me a lot of him. Like I said, Yahoo has a lot of potential. He just has to, you know, keep, you know, better his craft.
How about Chris Allen?
Chris Allen the same way. You know, he's another hometown guy. You know, my best friend. And like I said, he came off an injury last year, and I keep trying to, you know, uplift him and motivate him. You know, because like I said, he's gonna be a dangerous player too. You know, so that's to keep working.
You mentioned you don't think there's another Alabama, you know what I mean, as far as Clemson or anybody else. What do you think Coach Saban has figured out about program building and just building a program that separates it? Why do you say that?
Just more so about consistency. If you look at our track record and everything that we've done up to this point, it's like, even with the defensive side of the ball, the offensive side of the ball, everything is very consistent. Everyone has the same mindset. You know, and the thing about Bama is, like, I know you know our slogan, like, build by Bama. Like, coming to this program, we break you down and build you back up. Build you back up into the player you want to be. And like not a lot of programs can't say they do that. You know, one year they'll have a good year, the next year they have a down year. Like, Alabama is consistent. You know, and that's why, you know, I feel like no one can really, you know, match them.
Because of the consistency, was it kind of shocking what happened against Clemson? You know, just because you guys have been you were a machine for so long. Was it kind of sobering that could actually happen?
Oh yeah, of course. Like I said, sometimes you need that. You know, like whenever you reach the tip of the iceberg, you know, sometimes you have to get knocked back down so you can like be humble. You know, coming back to reality. You know, start back over and like know what got you to where you were. So in that instance, like I said, everything happens for a reason, and I feel like, you know, everything will be fine.
Dylan, obviously, Coach Saban considers him a leader because he brought him up here last year. What can you tell us about, as a teammate, about Anthony Jennings?
Anthony Jennings is like a big brother to me. His locker is actually right next to mine. And, you know, I'm always getting like input from him, and he's always getting input from me. He's always trying to like learn from me as I'm trying to learn from him. And it's crazy, you know, saying that because he's an older guy, but, you know, me being in the position I am and the mindset that I have, you know, he knows he can learn a lot from me. Like I said, I'm really going to need him this year, you know, along with a lot of other guys.
We don't see the serious side of Nick Saban. Can you just tell us anything about the funny, silly stories that you might see on practice fields?
He doesn't really joke around that much in the practice field. It's really more so in like the meeting rooms, and I really can't tell you about those type of jokes. But like, you know, he'll say some off-the-wall things in the meeting rooms and campus all laughing.
Sounds like Mac Wilson was really key last year in kind of helping you learn what it would take to be the Mike linebacker. But I think he was honest about things like where he didn't live up to his own expectations for himself. What kind of stuff did he teach you about mistakes that he made and how you learned from those?
But Mac is just like, you know, like I said, first off, he's a very great player. And I don't know, with that, you know, he just needs to stay focused. And I feel like it's all about the little things too. I don't know, just going on and I learned a lot from him just with the communication part. And it's hard. It's hard being in this position, and I understand him. So that's why I'm taking the initiative. He keeps telling me to stay focused and lead the defense. So that's what I'm going to do.
I've got a couple of Georgia questions for you. The last couple times you've played Georgia, they've kind of got the jump on you with their offense. What would you attribute that to? How much of it's from? How much of it was scheme?
Yeah, well, with Georgia is they're a very aggressive team. I tell everyone Georgia's definitely the hardest team I played since I've been in college. It's really because they're very aggressive, just like us. So when we play against them, we have to bring our A game. So with that, you just have to be consistent in action with them and always finish strong. That's why we've always been able to come out on top of their games, because we were able to finish.
We know that a lot of people have talked about the Georgia offensive line. Certainly Alabama's had one of the best lines in college football too.
Right.
Just what does separate the Georgia line from other units in college football that you've played against?
They finish on every play. Just being a guy that's played against their offensive line, whenever their running back is fighting for extra yards, they're getting behind their running back and pushing them for an extra 2 or 3. And it's amazing. I've never seen another team do that, besides ours. But like I said, they're a record for us. That's the team we have to worry about.
Phil, did you say that Georgia is the toughest team you've seen? Is that include Clemson?
Like I said, Georgia is an SEC team, and like I said, as far as SEC wise, yes, they are very tough and strong and all of that. Anything you think of that's good about Georgia, that's it.
Saban said that personal distractions were a factor in that championship game. Was it that, or was it just simply Clemson was a better team last year?
It was more so just preparation. Like I said, I wouldn't say they were a better team because we both have great athletes on both sides of the ball. It was just we didn't prepare as much for Clemson. And, they obviously prepared more for us. They game plan better than us. Like I said, we just outcoached.
Do you think that your team, your best, is better than Clemson's best last year?
I would say so. Our best is. I think so. I have a lot of confidence in our team. I have a lot of confidence in our receivers, our offensive line, defensive line. At our best, yeah.
This video was brought to you by the Alabama Department of Labor. Visit your local career center today to learn about our on-the-job training program for employees and employers.